Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So as you come into the building, make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell. Please make sure that you share this live stream out to all of your social media to help get the message out. All right. Also, if you are interested in supporting this channel, the link for the Patreon for this channel is in the comment section pinned, and it's also in the description box. Shouts out to my man, Reality Check Virtual Radio. What up with it, bro? Good to see you as always. You guys make sure you go over to Reality Check Virtual Radio and check out the link to his page, to Izzy. You know what I'm saying? He's got his own YouTube page, and we also have a joint page where we do podcasts on. It's called Reality Check Virtual Radio Blacklight Revelations. Make sure you guys go over there to that page and check that out as well. All right. So one of the first things that I want to do is I want to show an example of the amounts of money that the United States government is putting out there for people to accommodate themselves post the overturning of Roe v. Wade. All right. And the example that I have for you guys today is in Maryland. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. What's going on? It's in Baltimore. All right. So we got a article right here directly from Mayor Brandon M. Scott. All right. And this is on baltimorecity.gov. All right. Mayor Scott allocates $300,000 to abortion and to family planning service providers. All right. Now, again, I don't have an issue with people who are pro-abortion getting any support from the government that is respective to where they live. But this is just an example of what they are able to do and what they won't do specifically for Black people. It would have been nice if people from Buffalo got something like this as a result of the white supremacist hate crime that community had to endure. But instead, what they got was the Democrats flipping the argument and turning it into a question of a gun argument instead of questioning the shameful culture and religion of white supremacy. So here, these people are getting the bag. And just like in New York City, when it comes to the AAPI hate crimes, New York Asians, people in that community are getting a bag. Roe v. Wade is a bag for a lot of different people, as we'll see. Being Black is never a bag. And yet, when it comes to that shit, a lot of these people like to repeatedly repeat and call us race hustlers for whatever reason, when you can look at this and you can see that there's actually a hustle with people making massive amounts of money because of their race. And we're getting locked out of money because of our race. So how getting locked out of money because of your race makes you a race hustler could only be an actual concept in a white supremacist society where nothing has to make sense anyway. The only requirement is that it has to come out of somebody's mouth. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what's going on over here. Mayor Scott allocates $300,000 to abortion and family planning services provider. Shout out to my man Alonzo. What up with it? Baltimore, Maryland. Today, Mayor Brandon M. Scott announced that the city of Baltimore would provide $300,000 in grants to organizations that offer abortions and family planning services. All right. So now my question for you guys is, what is family planning services? Give me examples of those in the comment section. Family planning services. You know what I'm saying? The city of Baltimore is allocating $300,000 to those. Okay. As a direct result of the overturn of Roe v. Wade. All right. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shouts out. We got 11 live viewers. Thanks, all 11 live viewers, for watching. And we got 8 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'd be at 20 likes. All right. Remember, we got that goal, you know what I'm saying, of 100 likes per video. So if everybody helps out and bangs on that like button early, we'd be getting there close. You know what I'm saying? We'll be getting there soon. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Faith and Lighten over on Facebook. If you guys aren't subscribed to my channels on Facebook, make sure y'all do that. All you got to do is just hit the links as they come into the chat, or make sure that you go to the About page and check those out. Shouts out to Carla. What up with it? Carla, what's good? We got Volvo in the building too. What up with it, Volvo? What's going on with you, bro? So now here it says this is a meaningful step towards maintaining Baltimore City's status as a place where residents and visitors can obtain safe, legal abortion services. This announcement came after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade earlier today. So as you guys can see, that's another thing that this whole Roe v. Wade thing proves, is that it proves that laws can instantaneously happen. All right. It proves that laws can instantaneously happen. Instantaneously in some states, they had what was called trigger laws, where when Roe v. Wade changed, it automatically changed the abortion status. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, these are everything that we've seen throughout this Joe Biden presidency are all things that we have been told that we aren't able to do. We're not able to do this for you. We're not able to do that for you. So that's what I want people to take note of. And when it comes down to the midterms in 2022, and when it comes to the election in 2024, people should run up on these people and put the pressure on them. You know what I'm saying? We got Val Williams in the building, and we got Carlton Wade. What up with y'all? So now here it says Maryland's strong pro-choice legislation is not expected to change, so the city is preparing to expand service capacity to meet the needs of its residents. You see that? Look at what the city of Maryland is doing. Maryland's strong pro-choice legislation is not expected to change, so the city is preparing to expand service capacity to meet the needs of its residents and any care seekers from states with anti-choice laws. Okay, that's a mouthful. What does that mean? That means that Maryland is not only gearing up to take care of Maryland, but Maryland is also gearing up to take care of other states that may not be able to have abortions anymore as a result of the Roe v. Wade decision. So just pay close attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Pay very close attention to how the government and the government of these states is willing to accommodate people from other states as a result of this court overturning. And again, the things that we're repeatedly told not to, that they can't do. Now, I'm going to do a video on this later, but this is an article from Miami Herald, and it talks about the South Florida clinic seeing an influx of women as Florida's 15-week abortion law ban looms. All right. So what you see is a traffic migration pattern when it comes to the abortion activity. Okay. And that's what they're talking about. What's going to happen is all of the business that was going into those states where abortion is legal is going to be leaving out of those states, and it's got to go somewhere. So there's going to be a high influx of business to the states where abortion is legal from states where abortion is illegal, and it's going to place increased demand on those physicians and medical staff there. So they're providing legislation for those people, also providing business grants and different things like that. And I agree with AB Promotions. It is funny how that works. It's funny how it doesn't work for us. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my man RG Titan. What up with it, bro? So now here it says a woman's decision about what to do with her own body is a fundamental human right, said Mayor Brandon M. Scott. It is crucial that we invest in abortion and family planning so that we can welcome women seeking these services with open arms. It's crucial that we invest in abortion and family planning so that we can welcome women seeking these services with open arms. When's the last time you guys heard anybody excited to invest in you like that? But I mean, the difference is that we've always been around. So my question is, what is the logical response to this? What's the logical response that needs to occur when we're dealing with a negligent party? What should the response be? Because this is blatant, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is a marking of territory. You know what I'm saying? And as far as it being a marking of territory, it's a marking of territory where they're telling us where they do and don't want us. And clearly they don't want us. Clearly they don't want our vote. Clearly they don't want anything from us. And they're exercising that by showing us just exactly what they won't do, and exactly to the degree that they won't cooperate, and to the ease of degree that they'll cooperate with other people. I mean, this is pretty damn easy. I don't think anybody even asked for this, and they just decided to bust this out for these people that are pro-abortion. Now, that's nice for them. But my question for you guys is, what does this do for you? That's my question. What does this do for you? Does this do anything for you? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 8 people watching and we got 13 likes. If everybody smashed that like button, we'd be at 21 likes. So if everybody could smash that like button and help us get to 21 likes, remember we got that 100 like goal. That'd be great. All right. So now here it says we are morally obligated to make Baltimore a safe haven for care seekers, and we are all committed to doing just that. And remember, now what this says is that it says that we're morally obligated to make Baltimore a safe haven. What is a safe haven? What is a safe haven? Because that's what they're morally obligated to doing. They are morally obligated to making sure that a safe haven is available for Baltimore residents. What is a safe haven? Because you need to understand what a safe haven is so that you can understand what the city of Baltimore, particularly Mayor Brandon M. Scott, feels that it's his responsibility to do. Because then you have to ask yourself, well, if that's your responsibility and we're citizens also, then why isn't that responsibility being afforded to us? So now here it says earlier in June, the city council passed a resolution to designate Baltimore City as an abortion rights protection jurisdiction and improve abortion care capacity in preparation for an increase in the number of out-of-state patients seeking to terminate pregnancy. So what they're doing now is they're bolstering up the businesses in Baltimore in order for them to be able to process a high volume capacity of other people coming in from out of state. This is going to create an artificial boom in the abortion business in Baltimore, in Maryland, because what's going to end up happening is all of the places that were doing abortions, either they're going to migrate there or the people seeking the services are going to migrate there. So now here it says, as a Black woman and public health expert, I cannot stress enough how important it is to fund abortion services. Lack of access to safe abortions leads to significant increases in pregnancy-related deaths, said Councilwoman Felicia Porter of District 10. All right. So now, as a Black woman, according to this Felicia Porter, you know what I'm saying? This is pretty important. As a Black woman and public health expert, I cannot stress enough how important it is to fund abortion services. Lack of access to safe abortions leads to significant increases in pregnancy-related deaths. And in my opinion, this is phrased to appease abortion. Actually, in my opinion, what it is and how it should be phrased is that lack of access to health care leads to poor pregnancy and delivery outcomes. So as a result of that, these women should have access to abortions in order to deal with complications that they might have. The way that she says it is geared towards the abortion audience, in my opinion. And she put Black women in front of it as a nice little bow on there to attract people. You know what I'm saying? Which is what we all know that these political parties do. You know what I'm saying? It's our responsibility as elected leaders to protect the health of our residents and eliminate barriers to care. See? Eliminate barriers to care. That's different than the way that it's phrased. You know what I'm saying? And it's phrased like that for a reason. It's phrased like that because the Democrats and the conservatives, you know what I'm saying, and your neighbor, they all think that you're an idiot. They think that you have no cognition. They think that you have no cognitive processing ability. And the only thing that you operate based on is impulse, emotion, and flash. They don't think that you can process any information. So they deliver simple, stupid, idiot messages like this instead of actually being respectful and saying what's on their mind, because they don't think that you deserve a say in the process. They think that the only thing that you deserve is nothing, and they deserve whatever support they can steal from you. They think that they're entitled to that, and they're not entitled to anything. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, we are at a critical crossroads, said Council Vice President Sharon Green Middleton of District 6. It is so important that we do the right thing and support local abortion service providers. Together, we are reaffirming a woman's right to choose and will make Baltimore a haven for individuals seeking care. Okay. So again, they're going to make Baltimore a haven for individuals seeking care. Now, just pay very close attention to that haven making. When has anybody ever made anything a haven for black people? Have we ever made our own haven? Has any politician ever said, this is a district that we're going to protect, we're going to make sure that we carve this out, and we're going to make this a haven for black people? No. The only thing that they've made a haven for black people is the prison system. And it's definitely not a safe haven. It's a white supremacist wet dream haven. So now here it says, I want to thank Mayor Scott for sharing our commitment to ensuring the reproductive health of both city residents and visiting care seekers, said Councilman Zeke Cohen of District 1. We will not allow the court to strip away autonomy and dignity from vulnerable people. Baltimore will be a sanctuary in a storm. So basically what they're doing in Baltimore is, and they're probably going to do this in all these places where they have a pro-choice majority of people, what they're doing is they're creating what are similar to sanctuary cities for abortion, right? Now, again, let's make it clear. Am I saying that this shouldn't occur? No. I'm just saying, why is it that we make up the majority of the voting base and this hasn't been done for us first? That's what I'm saying. That's my question. See, I'm not a conservative, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a white supremacist either. I'm not going around trying to hate on other groups and say other groups don't deserve shit. They need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, this, that, and the other. Even though they do, it wouldn't hurt them. It wouldn't hurt them to hop off of the backs and the nuts of everything we do and stop being anti-black and actually do something on their own that they can be proud of instead of hijacking our movements and then turning around and try to act like they're somehow socially better, despite the fact that they absolutely do engage in those behaviors because they're idiots. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is pay attention to what they do for them versus pay attention to what they tell us they can't do. And also pay attention to our reaction, because a lot of time our reaction ain't nothing. We say all this shit that we ain't going to do, or we say all this shit that we are going to do, and then nobody follows through with it. So the shit continues. So just because, you know what I'm saying, like I'm going in on Democrats and going in on Republicans and all that doesn't mean that we're not part of the problem, because we're the ones that have the most control over the problem. You know what I'm saying? If we would actually do what we're supposed to do instead of stop acting like genetic cowards, then things would change. But at the last minute, somebody always starts letting a little bit of piss go down the side of their leg because they're so damn scared about what'll happen if they have to take some responsibility and deal with their own fate after you sink these parties. You know what I'm saying? These parties need to be sank. People need to start having a backbone and understand that everybody is capable of dealing with things without these parties. We're more than capable. We are more than capable. We have everything that we need. The only thing that we need is a brain, and everybody has one. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says today's decision by the Supreme Court is absolutely shameful. Especially, and so again, so now we're doing the Maxine Waters story. So just pay very close attention to what they're doing and how they're reeling people in. You know what I'm saying? They're using the Maxine Waters tactic. You know what I'm saying? So Tammy says that we already have a sanctuary city here in Baltimore for Hispanics, and it's probably full of MS-13 members. You know what I'm saying? AB Promotion says, Rob, reality is starting to hit him hard. Good. I hope it knocks him down, put him on the ropes. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they find out the truth of who is original and who is not. Facts. Yeah. Real shit, bro. So pay attention to how they're trying to reel people in. Today's decision by the Supreme Court is absolutely shameful and especially detrimental to black women like me. How is this decision detrimental to black women when this decision was based on a lie that a white woman told? The only way that it's detrimental to black women is that it's a lie based on a white woman who alleged and lied that she was having an unwanted black baby, and white people have created a propaganda machine that's brainwashed people into believing that black babies are undesirable and unwanted because white society feels that way about black babies. because they're having trouble creating babies of their own. So since they're having trouble creating babies of their own, they project a devaluation on our babies, which their genetic difficulties and their reproductive difficulties are not indicative of us existing or breathing oxygen. Those are personal problems that if they're so intelligent with all the technology and science, they should get right on fixing quickly and efficiently instead of worrying about what the fuck everybody else is doing. So now here it says, I applaud Mayor Scott for his swift decision and action on behalf of women, not just those in Baltimore. In partnership with the mayor, we are ensuring safe and reliable access for care seekers. In 1992, Maryland ensured that a woman's right to choose in Maryland was never in doubt. We are a safe place, so pay very close attention. They keep putting the emphasis on this word safe. We are a safe place because of the work so many women coming together, of which I am honored to be one of many. So who are all these women that are coming together? Councilwoman Odette Ramos of District 14. So I know Ramos is like a Latino last name. It's a Spanish last name. This councilwoman here, Daniel McCrae, they put the emphasis on the fact that this woman is allegedly a black woman. Now, but notice how they don't put the emphasis on the fact that this woman is Hispanic. I mean, Ramos is a Hispanic last name, or either she's got a Hispanic maiden name, one or two. Yeah, it's just the facts, bro. It's just the facts. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we live in a society where people are allergic to facts. They don't really like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, shouts out to everybody. We got 13 live viewers and we got 15 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll be at 28 likes. So let's try to get to 28 likes because remember, we got that goal. You know what I'm saying? And that goal is 100 likes per post. So let's try to do that. All right. Okay. So Tammy just confirmed she's Hispanic. And notice how they didn't mention that she's Hispanic on this page right here from the black mayor, because the mayor is black, where they're trying to promote all of this black shit. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says this Supreme Court decision is nothing short of a disaster for women across the country and puts women's rights back decades. Shame on them. In Baltimore, we're taking action to ensure that women have the right to safe abortion care. I'm proud of our city and state. And we'll fight for the rights of our sisters across the country again. There you go. We're all in this together as women. You know what I'm saying? Pump that fist and get as many men put behind bars as y'all can. You know what I'm saying? Go snitch on your husband today. Sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? $300,000 will be set aside to stand up a fund at Baltimore Civic Fund, used to provide funding directly to organizations that provide abortions and family planning services. $300,000. All right. Now, they're giving $300,000. Nothing even happened yet. What has happened yet where $300,000 is required other than a little bit of paperwork shuffle? Shouts out to Val Williams. What up with it, Val? That's the question. What has happened that's so detrimental to society other than paperwork shuffling? You know what I'm saying? So now we're about to drop some hardcore facts that a lot of people aren't going to like. Okay. And that's always the best time when people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? That's the best time. Now, white people and Asian people would like you to believe that Asian people are the ones suffering the most. They even put Asian people on the cover of this news article, right? How many of you guys saw the videos, the live streams that I did about gun ownership on this channel? If you guys saw the videos that I did about gun ownership on this channel, give me a thumbs up in the chat. One of the titles of the videos was, is gun ownership a deterrent for anti-black hate crimes? I got 2 videos on this channel about that. If you guys saw them, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, make sure you watch them all the way through. Take notes. Anti-black being first, gay, Asian bias, fuel California hate crime surge. California, the liberal state, mind you, the state that's so liberal, it has a bunch of anti-black gun laws left over from the NRA Reagan era. That's how liberal California is. so liberal, it's a bunch of white people that call themselves people of color that are in police gangs called the executioners, going around beating the shit out of and killing black people. Let's not forget about Rodney King. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget about the Watts riots. Let's just not forget about how good California has been. Liberal California in America, according to whites. Okay. Because we know that's a completely different place than actual America. So now here it says San Francisco, hate crimes driven by homophobia and racism. So I don't understand why homophobia is in front. Homophobia is not the driving force behind this. So one thing that we need to start doing is we need to start emphasizing black before anything else, as always, because homophobia and black are not synonymous. Homophobia is a completely different motivation to a hate crime than racial. Hate crimes driven by homophobia. I want you guys to pay very close attention to this and pay very close attention to the numbers, because shouts out to the white media. Only the white media could mix up and mess up information like this. Okay. Hate crimes driven by homophobia and racism resulted in a 33% surge in reported incidents in California last year. So now just pay very close attention. What they did was combine homophobia and racism to come up with this 33% number. And the reason why they did that is because homophobia is such a small percentage of that 100% of that 33. So they had to put it together to make homophobia relevant and then put homophobia in front. Following a similar spike in hate crimes attacks driven last year, confirming what officials have been hearing anecdotally since the pandemic began, the state's attorney said on Tuesday. We didn't hear anything except for about Asian people getting harmed since the pandemic started. If Izzy is still in here, me and Izzy and TD Hip Hop Media was some of the few people that was telling people about how anti-black hate crimes have and always led the amount of crimes that happen per capita and the increase in crimes per capita. We've led the amount and we've led the increase, and it's not been acknowledged by the population at large. They're fucking idiots collectively. It hasn't been acknowledged by the Democrats, by the Republicans, or anybody in the presidential office. And that in that remedial, non-bike riding moron with a crackhead son that we have for a president hasn't done shit except for sat his liver spot having ass in front of a camera and telling black people what he's not going to do, while saying that we need to work with Hispanic people, while you got Myra Flores sitting up there on Fox News talking about how the Democratic Party ain't doing shit for them and they about to start voting for Republicans. And then you got some idiots up here babbling about some stupid ass brown and black coalition. These motherfuckers don't even see themselves as brown. So there's a whole bunch of stupid shit going on all sides. It's a big ass spinning square of stupidity that everybody's involved in. Part of the reason why we don't get the shit that we need, that we can control, is because of stupid shit that we do, living in a fantasy land. You know what I'm saying? Get out the fantasy land, break the funhouse mirror, and start looking at shit the way that it is. Attorney General Rob Bonta said that crimes against black people were again the most prevalent in 2021, climbing 13% from 2020 to 513 reported incidents. Hate crimes motivated by sexual orientation bias increased by nearly 50% to 303. So again, the reason why they're using percentage, this is why they used percentage. They used percentage because it's such a small number for hate crimes to be able to put gender crime in front. See, when they list these things, they list things in order from greatest to largest. This is the same way they list ingredients on the back of a piece of food. That's one of the reasons why water or ethyl alcohol is always the first thing that you see, or petroleum, because that's what the base is. And usually the base makes up most of the substance. When it comes to the substance of hate crime, black people are the base. We always make up the most. And the reason why we always make up the most is because we live in a country that's based in anti-black racism. So in order to do this, we got to play around with the math and do stupid shit like what Tucker Carlson did that time when his dumbass was sitting up there talking about a median when nobody uses a statistical category of a median for any damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You use a mean, you use an average. And see, even Izzy is saying he's explained this so many times, and he has. And in my opinion, more people need to explain it, and people need to start repeating it. You know what I'm saying? It says it right here. We don't even need to do no type of special calculation. We don't need to try to do any kind of debunking or anything. Right here in their own media, it says Attorney General Rob Bonta said that crimes against Black people were again the most prevalent in 2021. Where is our hate crime bill? You know where our hate crime bill is? The same place everybody who ain't watching this is. They don't give a fuck about it. So that's why we ain't got one. That's the reality of shit. Hate crimes motivated by sexual orientation bias increased nearly 50% to 303. So if you have a larger number to start with, your percentage increase is always going to be smaller. If you have a Bitcoin that's worth $20,000 and it increases $1,000 to $21,000, it's going to be a smaller percentage increase than a Shiba Inu that's less than a penny that increases to 2 cents. That Shiba Inu is going to have a huge percentage increase. You know what I'm saying? But the dollar amount is smaller. It's not even a dollar increase. Whereas the Bitcoin, because it's so large, $1,000 is a small increase. You know what I'm saying? Incidents against Asians were up 178%. Now that seems significant, but it's like that because the number was so small. As these numbers started to get larger, the percentage increase will get smaller. It's 178%. Oh my God, that's out of control. But it increased to 247. So if there's no hate crimes whatsoever, and then there happens to be 2 hate crimes, guess what? That shit just increased 200%. That's how that shit works. That's why fashionable stupidity is so goddamn dumb. Motherfuckers need to understand how math works so that they can identify this shit. So when they post it up on the screen, motherfuckers ain't sitting back laughing at us like, man, we just keep playing these Black people when they dumbasses don't even realize this shit. They can't even do simple math. Because if they could do simple math, then surely they'd have something to say about the way we keep playing around with the numbers. And surely motherfuckers don't have too much to say. You know what I'm saying? Surely motherfuckers don't have too much to say. So now here it says one hard truth in our state, just as we see across the nation, is that the epidemic of hate we saw spurred on during the pandemic remains clear and present, said Bonta, a Democrat at a news conference. And one hard truth that I see in the state is that as much as y'all want to disregard it, it's Black people who receive the most hate crimes. That's another hard truth. Each of these incidents represent an attack on a person, a neighbor, a family member, or a fellow Californian. The 1,763 hate crimes reported in 2021 was the 6th highest tally since the department began collecting and reporting data statewide in 1995. It also is the highest since 2001, when 2,261 hate crimes fueled by the 9/11 terrorist attacks were reported in California. And again, that's why you got to pay attention to what the numbers say. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to the percentage increase. You got to pay attention to the percentage increase versus the nominal increase. You know what I'm saying? Val says Asian hate crimes increased 247. Black hate crimes increased to 2,871. Absolutely. So it's clear who's experiencing more brutality and more hate. It's clear. So I want to ask everybody, the few people that actually care about their lives that are in here, who has the most hate crimes occur to them? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 13 live viewers. Again, shout out to everybody that's watching. If everybody could smash that like button, we will have 28 likes. And congratulations for 28 people giving a shit about breathing to see the next day. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says last year's annual report showed a similarly high increase, 31%, with anti-black bias making up the bulk of incidents in a state where African Americans are 6% of the population. Now, why is it that white people don't repeat that statistic? You know how they like to repeat that one so much? 13% of the population making up 55% of the crime. How come they don't talk about how 6% of the population is victimized by 31% of the hate crimes? How come they don't talk about that? How come they don't repeat that shit? They're so good with numbers and statistics. The fuck they don't talk about that one for? So now here it says the 2020 report also shows a startling increase in bias against Asian Americans, which again, I mean, that's negligible. We're not Asian, so we're not really, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And those numbers are very insignificant compared to ours. So, I mean, and on top of it, in addition, they're getting legislation to help deal with those numbers. So, I mean, that's not really anything that is of any, priority to us or to me or, probably to anybody that's in here. These are things that are already being serviced by the government. They're already getting their handout. And Izzy says that that's false also. And it is false because those organizations, these anti-black Asian think tanks, like net sharks that Izzy been exposing for a long ass time, are bumping up the numbers and doing shit like if you say somebody has slanted eyes, they consider that shit a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? Talking about that's the significant increase. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says videos of assaults on Asian Americans, particularly seniors, went viral last year with a little bit of help from the Manhattan Institute, a little bit of help from Juju Chang, a little bit of help from Fox News, a little bit of help from Breitbart, a little bit of help from the New York Post, a little bit of help from all the local news apparatuses, just a little bit of help. All the Asian viral videos and all these black people disappear. Now, let me ask you this question. How the fuck is it always somebody around when an Asian is getting beat up or pushed down, but literally black men and women disappear every fucking day, but there's never anybody around with a camera to ever show what anybody did with any of these people? What happened to that black dude that was just recently in Iowa in Idaho with that white girl? What happened to his ass? Talking about he fell into the river and shit. Where the fuck he at? And nobody had a camera. It was supposed to be 5 other people with their asses. Right. And that's a fact. It's because they misconstrued as understanding or their purposeful misinterpretation of the English language, like a lot of people that are not native to America like to do. You know what I'm saying? They call any crime against Asian people a hate crime. You know what I'm saying? You run into their car, oh, hate crime. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fucking hate crime. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fucking hate crime. So now here it says the initial count showed 60 victims in 2021, up from 9 in 2020. Half of last year's victims were allegedly targeted by one man. Still, not all criminal attacks carry a hate crime charge. Well, most criminal attacks, when it comes to attacking Asians, carry a hate crime charge for some reason. And then what ends up happening is imagine we still lead this category, right? We still lead this category, and they underreport our hate crimes against us. Anytime anybody attacks a black person, anytime a white person basically decides to just burn a cross or lynch a black person, we have to have we have to have some kind of excuse where it says, well, this wasn't a hate crime. We have to put that out there up in the front that this wasn't a hate crime. Even though this motherfucker said Nigger, you know what I'm saying, having to be a motherfucker like Peyton Gendron that has a damn Chad manifesto talking about how he's just so fearful that his genetic DNA is going to fall apart and melt. You know what I'm saying? All this crazy, weird ass shit. None of that constitutes as any kind of racism, though. I mean, he's not racist. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck he is, but one thing that we know is that he's not racist, despite the fact that he went to Oh, that's right. He fucked around and shot 2 non-black people. That's Peyton Gendron is not racist. They literally said that stupid ass shit on Fox News. How can he be a white supremacist and he shot 2 white people? Are you serious? How can police be white supremacists and they abuse every motherfucking body too? When it comes to all lives matter, somebody need to tell that shit to the police because they asses out here killing everybody. White supremacists don't give a fuck who you are. White supremacists only work for white supremacists, and they'll also kill other white supremacists if the agendas don't match. There's no ethical standard with these motherfuckers. They're not above anything. I don't understand why people look at these motherfuckers with some kind of ethical lens. Oh, white supremacists would never kill. There's no loyalty there. You know what I'm saying? Scoundrels and scum of the earth. And scoundrels and scum of the earth backstab each other and kill each other. You see this shit happen in mafia movies and shit all the time. These families double cross each other and shoot each other up, shoot the shit out of Sonny at the damn toll booth. This ain't nothing new. This is what they do. This ain't nothing new. This is that shit that I'm talking about, but motherfuckers just tend to automatically look at nonsense that these people do with some kind of rose-colored lenses, or expect there to be some kind of standard to degeneracy. There's no standard to degeneracy except for perpetuation, and that's the only standard is a consistent perpetuation of degeneracy, and that's what you see come from these motherfuckers. There's no honor system. There's no standards. There's no morals. There's no ethics. There's no consistency, other than the consistency of we'll do anything that's illogical and makes no sense as long as it furthers our agenda. That's the only consistency, is agenda furthering, power, and theft. That's it. There's nothing else. So now here it says officials say reported hate crime statistics may be far lower than actual numbers, but add that they've taken steps to encourage reporting by victims. Nationally, hate crimes rose to the highest level in more than a decade in 2019, according to an FBI report. And let's not forget that the United States, post-slavery United States, is based off of an entire nationwide hate crime. So let's not forget about that. Black people will always have the largest amount of hate crimes in the United States because the United States was born out of anti-Black genocide. You know what I'm saying? Perpetuated by most white people that you come in contact with, family members that they're too shameful to admit to. You know what I'm saying? Community leaders who joined Banta at Tuesday's press conference urged people to report hate crimes and seek resources such as mental health services. Circean Villavicino, commissioner with California Commission on Asian and Pacific Islander Affairs, said hateful attacks against Asian American community are not new. And what else he doesn't say is who commits them, because it's always the same group of people that's committing the hate crimes. White people commit 70% of hate crimes. White people historically commit any kind of crime that they can against non-white people that they come in contact with. Literally, they have a cultural history and a cultural legacy of this shit. Literally. But the sheer rise in attacks during the pandemic was alarming, he said. Our elders were being physically attacked. Women, young people were being verbally insulted. AAPI students were being harassed and bullied at school. AAPI-owned small businesses were targeted and discriminated against just because they were AAPI, Villavicenco said. In May, and I don't know how this article turned into something about Asians. So pay very close attention to that, because I don't know if you guys caught that sharp right turn, but now all of a sudden is everything Asian, despite the fact that we lead in every category. This is one of the reasons why it's so important to get our own media and people that have large platforms to actually push the right messages instead of, just wasting time with a lot of stupid shit that's not important. Because that's one thing that people like to do, is just get online and just say the dumbest shit ever because they can. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, you shouldn't just sit there and say the dumbest shit that you can. Every time you say something, it should be something important, something helpful, especially if you can reach, massive amounts of people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is. It always is. And that's not throwing shade. That's just what it is. And then that's when those same people that commit those crimes are the ones who sit there and act like there's no such thing as racism and are very anti-Black. And then as soon as they get in trouble for doing such degenerate shit, because I don't know if they haven't shaken that element of what was going on where they came from or not, then they want to try to turn around and say, well, we brother. Like, no, we're not brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, most of us don't involve ourselves in stupid ass shit like that. That's some shit that is not consistent with over here. You know what I'm saying? Most of us are busy underachieving according to you people. So we got to stay busy underachieving while y'all can push these motherfuckers down and do all kind of debauchery ass shit that y'all brought over. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the sheer rise in attacks during the pandemic was alarming, he said. Our elders were being physically attacked. Women and young people were being verbally insulted. AAPI students were being harassed and bullied at school. AAPI owned small businesses were targeted and discriminated against just because they were AAPI. Now I got a question for you. Why didn't the AAPI hate crime issues turn into a gun debate? But in the same paragraph, clearly we're talking about people, black people that were killed. You know what I'm saying? And then they gave us one sentence. They gave Asian people a whole paragraph up here. You know what I'm saying? One sentence about black people that was killed, and then turned around and talked about another sentence, you know what I'm saying, mixing in what happened to some Asian people. Again, the expectation that people should have is stop asking why these media organizations do this shit. Are motherfuckers slow? Who owns these media organizations? It's not the black marketing department to make us look good. That's not who owns these media organizations. So that's why they do this shit. If we don't have our own media to maintain our own image, then we're subject to the leftovers. And the leftovers is you get a sentence. People need to stop asking goddamn dumb questions. You know what I'm saying? Why did they write this article like that? Because they don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Because they see you as a commodity that they can take for resources. That's why. They don't owe you that shit. Nobody owes any fair reporting to anybody. We could have our media and report things whatever way we need to in order to perpetuate our image if we had our own media. That's what they do. But we don't have that. And then we sit here and talk about how we're so knowledgeable about this and we're so knowledgeable about that. And we know that we live in a white supremacist society and this, that, and the other, but then turn around and ask these silly, low IQ, brain fart ass questions about why a propaganda machine is not reporting things accurately. We actually ask that question and then get mad when people question the IQ. Got to think about that shit sometimes. Absolutely. Facts, Val. Lamestream media is the fourth estate. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says in May, a white gunman killed 10 black shoppers and workers at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. Now then all of a sudden, this is the sentence that you get. This is it. This is it. This is the end of it. We got the most of all of these crimes happening to us. This is it. This is your sentence. There you go. We got to go back to the people that don't really have shit going on. A steep rise in Asian bias since 2020 included the March of 2021 killing of 8 people in Atlanta area businesses, including that of 6 Asian women. Hate crime is motivated by the victim's gender. So again, they keep pushing gender first. Gender, nationality, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or disability. Hate incidents such as name calling are not necessarily criminal, but they're still counted by some of these organizations, though, and that's what Izzy was talking about. They're still counted by some of those organizations. If I call you a mean name, you know what I'm saying, I've committed a hate crime against you. You know what I'm saying? I called you a name. I hate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously? But that's what they're doing, though. And my thing is, again, we don't have no think tank. We need a think tank. We need to collect our own data. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, well, then that means that we can afford to just live off of what everybody else provides. And it doesn't seem like people are very comfortable with that. But you'd think that not being comfortable would stimulate people to be comfortable, and it doesn't. It just stimulates more complaining with no action. That's not natural. You know what I'm saying? That's not natural. But it happens. It's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? The California Department of Justice has collected and reported statewide data on hate crimes since 1995. Crimes showing bias against Latinos increased only 30%. to 197 incidents in 2021. And that's probably because Latinos live in heavily concentrated Latino areas. So you're not going to get many hate crimes and that kind of thing, which is interesting because a lot of black people live in black areas and white people go from their areas to the black areas to harm those people like Peyton Gendron did. There's a prime example of that. There's an example of those people from Idaho who drove all of that way to try to crash that AA or to try to crash that LGBTQ Pride Festival. The same Patriot Front, they went over to Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? All those organizations, those militias that was going to kidnap Governor Whitmer and the Boogaloo Boys, burning down those police stations in Minneapolis. Like, these motherfuckers travel. They got frequent flyer miles. You know what I'm saying? And they travel to where some black people at to try to hurt them. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see too much of that with like any other community. Ain't nobody really traveling all like that. And they also know that, you know, they understand the psychology. They understand that when it comes to some people just sit there and watch somebody get shot up or abused and not do anything because of who's doing the abuse. It's normalized in the United States to see black people being abused by white people. It's offensive to see black people defending themselves against that. It's offensive. It's offensive to Asians. It's offensive to immigrant Africans. It's offensive to Latinos. It's extremely offensive to white people to see a black person, you know, preserving their life, including having babies, which is one of the reasons why they're trying to create all this fake outrage for Roe v. Wade. So now here it says crime show bias against Latinos increased 30% to 197 incidents in 2021, while anti-J bias incidents increased 32%, which I don't even, whatever. You know what I'm saying? To 152, the most in religious bias category. So I find this fascinating. They threw this in a religious bias, but if you ask these people, they're a different race. So much so that they uphold that nonsense so much that Whoopi Goldberg got suspended from The View as a result of saying that. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. This is what happens when you live in a system of illegitimacy and you're allowed to just switch back and forth from identity. Now, if it's anybody that got the proper pronouns and the proper adjectives on lock, it's them. Because if you don't call them what they want to be called that day, then you're anti-Semitic. So, you know what I'm saying? If you talk about the religion one day and they want to be a race that day, you're anti-Semitic. You're not acknowledging the full, you know what I'm saying, history and spectrum of the deep-rooted culture that they supposedly have. You know what I'm saying? You're anti-Semitic. You know what I'm saying? Louis Farrakhan. You must follow Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absurd. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Bonta announced a new position of a statewide hate crime coordinator within California's Department of Justice to assist state and local law enforcement efforts to battle hate crimes. The report also showed that the district attorneys and elected city attorneys filed 30% more lawsuits or 30% more cases in 2021 involving hate crime charges. So there was more hate crime charges filed as well. You know what I'm saying? So again, the evidence is there. It shows exactly who's dealing with these hate crimes, and it shows who the Democrats and who all of these people want to deal with. Yeah, I agree. That's big facts, bro. Shout out to my man Mike Mellis, John B1. What up with it, bro? Roe v. Wade was overturned because of the white procreation rates. That's a fact. And that politician lady even said that. She let that shit slip. And of course, if we let something slip and then we repeat what it was that slipped, somehow we're the ones that made the mistake because we're not supposed to repeat what was said. We're supposed to understand what was allegedly implied. I don't give a fuck about them talking about some shit was implied. I'm talking about what was said because they go off of what somebody sees on a damn camera. So I'm going off of what I heard come out your damn mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to come up with no new weird ass rules to appease some shit because you accidentally messed around and let some shit slip out of your mouth. That's not my fault. That's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? That's your fault. That's your problem. You should have did economy of words and not talk so damn much. You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps, your boy has to wrap this one up real quick. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Shout out to my man, Reality Check Virtual Radio. You know what I'm saying? We got to get it in on that podcast. If y'all not subscribed to Reality Check Virtual Radio, make sure you guys subscribe to that channel on YouTube. Also, if you guys are not subscribed to Blacklight Revelations Reality Check Virtual Radio, make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to that channel as well. All right. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the backup channels. Make sure you hit me on my other social media. Make sure that you guys smash that like button. Remember, we got a goal of 100 likes per post. We getting there. So let's keep it cracking. Let's keep it moving. And I will catch you all on the next video. All right. Peace.